I'd like to call this meeting of the Clay County Commission to order. We will begin with our invocation. Administrator, if you're prepared, please proceed.
Yes. Please join us in an attitude of prayer. God in heaven, as we begin this meeting, we ask for your guidance of our thoughts and actions so that we may have a successful meeting today. Help us to accomplish our goals, and thank you for the opportunity to serve the residents of Clay County. Amen.
Please join me for the pledge.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Nolte?
Here.
Commissioner Thompson?
Here.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Here.
Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
Motion been made for the approval of the agenda as printed. Discussion?
No discussion.
You are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
That brings us to meeting schedules. Administrator?
Yes, the next meeting of the commission will be held Wednesday, October the 19th at 3 o'clock as a work session here in the chambers.
Very good. There are no honorary resolutions and there are no public hearings noticed for this evening. That brings us to our consent agenda. Is there a motion related to this evening's consent agenda?
Commissioner, I move that we approve the consent agenda as printed.
Motion has been made for the approval of the consent agenda. Discussion? You're recognized to close.
Close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
That brings us to this evening's regular agenda. The first item is 2022-334. Administrator?
Resolution 2022-334 is consideration of approving the airport liability insurance policy renewal with ACE Property and Casualty Insurance. Staff presented on this last week, and we are happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the commission?
No questions for me.
No questions, thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to comment on 2022-334? Seeing none, is there a motion related to 2022-334?
I'll make a motion to approve 2022-334.
Motion has been made for the approval of 2022-334. For the discussion, seeing none, you're recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
That brings us to 2022-337. Administrator?
Resolution 2022-337 is consideration of approving two change orders with Boone Construction Company for the Greenwood Bridge project. The result of these two change orders is a net reduction in the contract in the amount of $28,840. Staff presented on this last week, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Well, certainly glad to hear about price reductions, that's for sure. Are there any questions or comments from the commission?
No.
No questions.
Any comments from the public? Seeing none, is there a motion related to 2022-337?
I move that we approve 2022-337.
Motion's been made for the approval of 2022-337. Further discussion? Seeing none, you're recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Thank you. That brings us to 2022-330. Administrator?
Resolution 2022-330 is considering the approval of ARPA funding for the planning and zoning permit software in the amount of $130,000. Staff presented on this last week, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Very well. Are there any questions or comments from the commission?
No questions.
Seeing none, any comments from the public or anyone else? Seeing none, is there a motion on 2022-330?
I'll make a motion to approve 2022-330.
Motion has been made for the approval of 2022-330. Further discussion?
No.
Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
That brings us to 2022-331. Administrator?
Resolution 2022-331 is the consideration of utilizing ARPA funding for the enhancement to the agenda management system. This is an amount not to exceed $15,000. We presented on this last week, but we're happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions or comments from the commission?
No questions.
Seeing none, anyone from the public wishing to comment? Seeing none, is there a motion on 2022-331?
I move that we approve 2022-331.
Motion has been made for the approval of 2022-331. Further discussion? Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
That brings us to 2022-336. Administrator?
Resolution 2022-336 is a consideration of approving ARPA funding for the website hosting with Civic Plus in an amount of $53,000 for the design and upgrade and transfer of information and hosting for 1 year. Staff would be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions or comments from the commission?
No question, just a comment, which is that I'm thrilled that we're doing this, and thanks to everybody for bringing this to fruition. I know that the public will be happy to have a new updated website, and I think that's one of the number one ways they interact with their county government is, or at least the first step along the way. So I'm just really happy we're doing this.
Very good. Commissioner Thompson?
No questions.
Anybody from the public wish to comment? Seeing none, is there a motion related to 2022-336?
I'll make a motion to approve 2022-336.
Motion's been made for the approval of 2022-336. Further discussion? Seeing none, you're recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
That brings us to 2022 Ordinance 31. Administrator?
Yes, 2022 Ordinance 31 is approving modification and establishing Title III, Chapter 30, Article 1, Division 3, Section 30.47, collective bargaining for law enforcement personnel. Last week, County Councilor presented information to the Commission about this. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have about this.
And I believe council pointed out last meeting that this is a framework to go forward with discussions. It is neither an endorsement or non-endorsement of the issue involved.
That's exactly
Counselor?
right.
So this is largely
This is procedural.
procedural was the word I was looking for. Thank you. Are there any further comments or questions related to this ordinance?
No questions.
No questions.
Any comments from the public? Seeing none, is there a motion related to 2022 Ordinance 31?
I move that we approve 2022 Ordinance 31.
Motion's been made for the approval of 2022 Ordinance 31. Any further discussion? Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
That brings us to the conclusion of our regular agenda. Next on the agenda are comments on non-agenda items. Are there any members present from the public, office holders, or any other agencies who would wish to comment on any issues not covered under tonight's agenda? Seeing none. That brings us to discussion items. There's nothing listed under discussion. Comments from the county administrator.
Thank you, Commissioners. We want to send our condolences to the family of Ray Brock. He has been a longstanding member of the Clay County activities and supported many things and served on the park board for many, many years. For Commission's information, his service and visitation is tomorrow. The Commission did design and create a resolution recognizing Mr. Brock for his services that was delivered and will be available tomorrow for the family and for visitors during the visitation. So just wanted to make the Commission aware of that.
Thank you very much for that. That brings us to Commissioner comments. Commissioner Carpenter, would you have any comments?
I just want to second those comments. I wasn't going to say anything, but Ray was a wonderful man and does leave a wonderful legacy, and he's got a wonderful family who are continuing on in his tradition of public engagement and service, and just a lovely man and people, and we'll miss him, but I'm glad that we're honoring him in that way as well. Thank you.
Commissioner Thompson.
No comments. Thank you.
I would like to echo the comments about Ray. He was, apart from everything else, I mean, considering the amount of influence and the amount of respect he had earned from so many people in this community, he was the kind of guy that was a regular guy. He was just humble. You could talk to him, and it was not, you would not know that he was someone who was of the stature that he clearly was. So he will absolutely be missed, and certainly condolences to the family and friends, and for that matter, to the Clay County community. He was one of those larger-than-life individuals. With that, that brings us to approval of the minutes of previous sessions. We have one set of minutes that are noticed up on our agenda. Is there a motion related to the minutes of Wednesday, July 13, 2022, 6 p.m.?
I'll make a motion to approve the Wednesday, July 13th, 2022, 6 PM meeting minutes as printed.
Motion has been made for the approval of the minutes of Wednesday, July 13, 2022, 6 p.m. Discussion?
Nope.
You are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
That brings us to written reports. I see none listed. Are there any to submit? It would appear not. We have no executive sessions on notice for this evening. That brings us to recess and adjournment. We are adjourned. Thank you.